So we are live, yes, we're here just outside Milan at Tornos, where we're actually at the Future is Calling event, which is being hosted here this week in Milan. And Joe, what have we got here? It's a good place to start.
It is, would you believe, we look at all this wonderful technology, don't we, from the guys here at Tornos, but this is where it all started, 1891, would you believe? Yeah, so it's obviously, it's progressed somewhat.
Could you still use that? You could use that.
I wasn't born when that was when I was brought into the marketplace.
Can't use CNC, can't use manual either. So coming up in today's show, we're going to be looking at the new technologies available from Tornos, which includes the Swiss Deco, the multi-Swiss. We'll look at the DT range as well. But before we do, if you fancy a visit here this week, you could stand a chance of winning this. Could that accommodate you, Joe, do you think?
It's pretty chunky, Paul, I'd hope so. Battery as well.
Yeah, so if you turn up here this week, you can obviously register your details to be in a prize draw where the first prize is this fantastic e-bike. The second prize, a weekend in Switzerland for two. And the third prize, 2 tickets for the Italian Grand Prix in 2022 in Monza.
I fancy the Grand Prix, to be fair.
Well, absolutely, me too. So where are we going to start? Well, let's have a look at this machine first. This is the Swiss Nano, and there's loads of technology coming up in today's show. But when you look at this machine, this is all about, I think this says a lot to me about Tornos when it comes to turning. This is about productivity gains in a very, very small footprint. Looks a pretty tidy machine, doesn't it, Joe?
It's incredible. Obviously, the clue's in the name. It's a nano machine. We're looking at dental applications predominantly, aren't we? But small diameters, but fast rapids.
And would you believe
machine. Look at the footprint.
Yes, you can get 10 of these machines in 80 square metres. Just think of the amount of parts you can make using 10 machines in 80 square metres. So shortly I'm going to be talking to Carlo Roll, who's the managing director here at Tornos in Italy, but we'll also throughout today's show encourage you to tell us that you're watching, comment, ask us questions, find out more about these technologies. If we don't get to your questions during the show, then of course we will answer them in the feed afterwards. So yes, let's go and have a chat with the gentleman that runs this facility. Carlo, nice to see you. Thank you very much for the invitation to here in Milan.
You're really welcome.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what your role is?
Yes, now I'm the managing director here in Tornos, Italy, since 4 years, because I started with Tornos Group in 2017.
Okay, now, what's the theme of the show this week here in Milan, or just outside Milan?
Yes, now, as you know, we are during the EMO, and my feeling is that this year will be in front, let me say, a bivium, you know, because we are going out from a pandemic situation, and we had no exhibition fairs since 2 years, and this will be a turn page, you know. My expectation is a good participation from customers, because we receive already a lot of confirmation for the next days. Of course, this is the first day, so it means that people maybe are not organized yet to come to visit.
And it's raining.
Yes, and also it's raining too much today and tomorrow. But starting from tomorrow, I really expect a lot of people, more people.
For those that don't know Tornos, which I'm sure a lot of people do because they see you across our channels, could you maybe describe what is your specialist areas? What machines are you producing?
As you know, our core business is the Swiss type machines and like mono machines, and also the multi-spindle machines. Italian market in this moment is really doing pretty good, and in this moment the best machines that we are selling is the multi-Swiss machine, that is the multi-spindle machines. Is really a strange thing, let me say, because in Italy production in the last years was not so strong, but starting from the end of 2020 and starting from 2021 until 30th of September 2021, we already reached, let me say, 20 million of order intake.
Wow, 20 million, and the majority of that is in the multi-Swiss, which for those that don't know is a multi-spindle machine, multi-spindle technology. Some would argue, and I know Colin's going to be looking at this machine in more detail shortly, that machine is specifically for volume. That is true, but the flexibility of it these days takes it into other markets too, doesn't it?
Yes, it's true, but usually in the imagination, customer always thinks that the multi-spindle machine is just to manage a big numbers of parts, but it's not true because our new concept of the multi-Swiss is that we can manage also smaller numbers of pieces, you know, because machine is really flexible, and also customers are able to change codes 2-3 times also during 1 week.
Yeah, which is what's changed in recent years. I want to ask you, you mentioned the pandemic yourself. A lot of your machines do very well in the medical sector, don't they, in the dental environment. Has that therefore then, I hate to say it, been a good thing for you, but have you seen a growth in that area because of the kit that you're offering?
Yes, you know, a lot of machines are arrived, of course, in the medical segment. And I have to tell you that a lot of multi-Swiss machines, we sold them in the pneumatics field, you know, because, you know, coronavirus was an issue that is net with the breath of people. It means that also medical advices are for the let me say, pneumatics and so on.
There's lots of parts that go into those units, isn't there, which you can make yourself. So just tell us in a few words then why people should attend to come and see you this week if they're in Italy or further afield. In fact, if they're at EMO, they can obviously come here. It's less than, what, €10 in a taxi from the show, isn't it? So good place to come.
I think that customer will choose to come to visit us because we have, as you already maybe showed, a very big space, and we put maybe 12 machines, and customer can take a look all of our production line in the machines. So people now would like to start to become again to live, you know, normally. And in Italy in this moment, all the exhibition in every segment, food, let me say, or also supply and so on, are really busy because people would like really to come back to live. And also in our segment, where in this moment there is a lot of work on the market, people would like to come to visit us and touch with their hand if it's true that in this moment there is so much work on the market.
Does it normally rain here? We've been here 2 days and it's not stopped raining since we've got here. I came here packed with my swimming shorts. We've got a swimming pool at the hotel. Doesn't look like I'm going to get to use it. Is it always like that here?
No, I don't know. I don't know, but probably starting from Wednesday, weather became better with the sun, so...
Well, guess what? I go home on Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Carlo, thank you very much there. So, yeah, if you've got some questions you want to ask us about the Tornos technology as we look at it as we go through the show, then please do contact us via any of the social channels that you're watching this on. Now we're going to head over to Joe, who's going to be taking a look at a fabulous machine, the Swiss Deco 36. Go for it, Joe.
Yes, hello. If you've come on this stream looking for the latest technology, then look no further. I'm here with Michael. This is the Swiss Deco machine. Michael, for people who haven't seen this range before, just tell us a little bit about this particular model, please.
This is a machine, we can machine up to 36. Now with something new that we are able to machine with bar material up to 42mm diameter. It's a platform where we have the possibility to have a gang, or after a turret, or the version we have here, the high end, the most popular also, the turret on a B axis.
Yeah, that's the first thing we notice, isn't it? If we look inside the machine, the turret at the back, you know, you can't help but miss it with the large B-axes as well.
Yeah, here you have the possibility to come to work with the B-axis on the side, and to come 90 degrees or a little more to work in front of the guide bush.
So how many tools can we have on the turret to start with?
It's a turret with 12 positions, and then you can make more tools on it, maybe with double or triple adaptation.
If you're watching this live stream, and we hope you are, please do come in with some of your questions. Obviously, we'll answer them throughout the show. But the one thing, it's the elephant in the room, as we say in the UK, you can't help but miss that gun drill. How on earth, tell us this particular application with that gun drill, just tell us a little more, if you will.
Yeah, this to machine this part, it's a medical part, a nail, typical, and we finish it directly on the machine with the deep drilling of 500mm length. So it's something unique on such kind of machine. The application is unique and only possible with the turret on the B-axis.
And correct me if I'm wrong, so that's 500 millimeters. If we go from the other side as well, possibly we can't do 500 from the other side, but maybe another 150, 200 mil?
We can go to approximately 200 millimeter for the other side. So.
That's just incredible. If you look at some of the other features, if we look at this, almost like the lower gang, how many tools are on there?
We have a counter operation block with 4 turning tools, 4 fixed tools, and 8 rotating also, and the possibility to have some cross tool we can leave also to make some different finishing on the part, like threading, milling, and different application.
And it's worth pointing out, we're not talking sub-spindle here, are we? We're essentially cutting the machine in half. We've got 2 machines, both spindles, to counter spindle. They're both equally adaptable.
Yes, right. The both spindles are the same with high power and torque. We allow with this machine to work in tough material really.
So, and the other thing I want to talk about is this new CNC control from Tornos. If we put it over, just talk to us about this this control. It's good.
Yeah, it's like a cellular phone, so you will not be lost. You have all the functionality. You have the modern. You see here your program in this area, and then here a Gantt diagram where you can show directly which operation, how many time it will take to do it, and you can make the optimization of the program.
So obviously with sliding head technology, we're trying to balance the cycle time, aren't we? We want to get 50% on either spindle to get the most productivity.
Yeah, more that we can win on the machine to decrease the cycle time and to optimize the program, and TZS is the right tool to help us.
So when we look at this machine, obviously you're in charge of this machine. So what are your favorite elements? What is it the Tornos users like about this machine?
For sure, the turret on the B-axis, this is incredible.
Yeah, so it's full simultaneous essentially, full simultaneous machining.
Yeah, it's 3 simultaneous machining, so on the turret and the gang, you make the pinch turning, you make some very good application, and the possibility you have on the counter operation is also amazing.
So I like the control, I like the turret with the B-axis, and over to Paul Jones, I'm sure he'll concur, like them also.
Yes, it is a terrific piece of equipment, that is a Swiss Deco. In fact, I saw it in Moutier about 3 or 4 years ago when the machine was first introduced. Some of the demonstrations they do on that machine at their facility is incredible. In fact, Moutier is a fantastic place. It's the headquarters of Tornos. It's in Switzerland and definitely worth a visit. So if you are watching, obviously you are, otherwise you wouldn't be hearing me. You can comment, you can ask questions about the technologies that we're looking at. We've got plenty more to come in the show today. In fact, we're going to be looking at the multi-Swiss machines and the DT range. And that's exactly where we're going to go now. We're going to go over, bear with me a second. Okay, we're going to go over to Colin. Colin.
Guys, thank you for... Guys, thanks for joining me. Those who've seen me on the channel probably know me for my sliding head expertise. Is that stretching it somewhat? I don't think so, but this machine I've been reviewing all morning, absolutely blown away. I use the word fantastic, but I've got to quantify that. First of all, though, they've let me loose. I'm going to do this, and this is the first thing. Sorry, Rocco. I will introduce Rocco very soon, but how is that? I'm going to back you off there, cameraman, because I want to get in here, and this is all part of the beauty of the machine. You can actually get in there. Ergonomics, absolutely. So we'll let Chris showcase this. We're going to have a chat with Rocco. Rocco, now I'm going to get this pronunciation right. Matocha.
Yes, correct.
I've been practicing that all day as well. Rocco, what is your role in the company?
I am head of product management multi-spindle.
So multi-spindle is your thing, basically?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I know sort of your single spindle, your sliding head lathes. This is one. You have 3 in this product range?
Yes, we have 3 models, the 616, the 632, and the 826.
Okay, now we're standing in front of the 826. What does that mean to people?
The 826 is the more productive machine we have developed in our product range, and today we even have increased the capability with the new tailstock.
Okay, well, we'll come to the tailstock in a little while, but the 8 means you've got 8 spindles.
8 spindle, 26 millimeter, and a lot of back operation capability too.
So just looking in there, well, I'm thinking it's a super complex machine, but you make it sound, when we were chatting earlier, very, very simple. So 8 spindles, how many tools?
We can have 3 tools per position, so that means total 24 tools in main operation and 4 tools in back operation.
Right, okay. Now when you say tooling, if you just come around here, how easy is it for me to set this machine?
This is really the advantage of this machine. As you showed before, we can be inside the machine, remove the tool, and we have all the capability from presettable tool holders with all the oil going through. So for the operator, it's really easy to manage this machine.
Okay, we'll go back to ergonomics because it's all about oil not falling on you, and it didn't fall on the cameraman, which is absolutely perfect, which is what we want. So we're setting this machine. I'm thinking when I'm buying a machine like this, I've got to be doing millions and millions of parts.
Yeah, that is no longer the case. That was true in the past, but today, thanks to all the kinematics, the software Deco, and the presettable tool holder, we can run every other day. You can change parts, so quite quick to change parts.
So I can be doing a different part every other day?
Exactly. Even more if you have in the family of parts like we showed today, in a couple of minutes you can go from a 60mm screw to 50mm screw.
So really, really simple. Okay, you've got 8 spindles, 3 tools, 24 in total. How many axes do you have?
We have 24 axes, but people are afraid about the 24 axes, but today actually is like programming 8x 3-axis machine.
Right, you're making it sound very, very simple. Those 24 axes, is that including Y-axes as well?
No, the Y-axis are extra. We can have 6 extra Y-axis.
Right. So even more complicated, but easy to program.
Yes, and also give more capability to have sister tools and to adjust the machine while running.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. I've run a sliding head lathe before. What sort of controls has it got?
We work with a FANUC control, and we use our Deco programming system.
Again, so if I've been running a slider before, how long is it going to take me to switch over from a sliding head machine to one of these?
Once you're aware with a single spindle technology, you can in one day easily go to a multi-spindle technology.
So, Rocco, really selling this machine. Now I'd like the cameraman to come in here please if you can. We're going to show some of the parts. So obviously you can see the 8 spindles here. This here, Rocco, what is this?
This is the new livestock. With this livestock we can support the part and make the part up to 8x diameter.
Okay, so sorry, this is the tail stock.
Tail stock, yes, we do have up to 4 tail stock, 1, 2, 3, and we can have another one here. And we also do have a thread whirling attachment here to make the bone screw.
Okay, well we'll look at component manufacture. Well, you let me manufacture it earlier.
Yeah, correct.
But I'm thinking you're doing all front end working. Do you have a sub spindle?
Yeah, we do have a sub spindle. You can see here the sub spindle, and we have up to 4 tools in the back operation, where you can have fixed or live tool like we have on these cases.
Okay, again, so adding to the complexity of those parts.
Correct. We can do the torques, for example, on the bone screw. The torques is made on back operation.
Right. Now, talking components, there's one I didn't manufacture earlier, I hasten to add, but if you can talk me through this component, Rocco.
Okay, so here the advantage are this kind of bone screw. Usually those family of screw go from 10mm up to 100mm, but with 65mm we cover 90% of the range of those parts.
All right, so in the medical industry,
Yeah.
90% of those parts are that size. So
Correct.
this machine is perfect for that type of manufacturing.
Exactly, we have a very good chip evacuation, and especially in medical industry with titanium and stainless steel, this is really a great asset.
Brilliant. Okay, now I'm thinking this machine is going to be running 24/7. What about your thermoregulation?
So we do have a chiller where we control the oil temperature within 1 degree. So with this you are able to hold 10 micron tolerances.
Wow, that impressive stuff. Also, it's going to be taking a lot of bar.
Yeah, we can put a bundle bar loader and hold up to 2 tons material.
Okay. And what length is bar will this take?
We use a 3-meter bar length.
Okay, so a lot of machining going on here. Is there anything else we need to cover off?
Yeah, really the great advantage of this technology is that you can produce with the same number of operators 3-4 times more components.
Right, so there you go. Anybody who's thinking of buying a sliding head machine, I would suggest maybe getting a multi-spindle machine.
Yeah, of course, that's really a great advantage to be more competitive in price per part.
Excellent. Rocco, that is absolutely brilliant. Really appreciate it. That's the multi-spindle machines from the guys at Tornos. Now we're going to throw back to Paul if he's ready.
Thank you very much, Colin. What an insight there. And again, once again, I saw those machines in Mutier. They really are something else. I like the flexibility of them these days. And as Carlos said to me earlier, the ease, or Carlo said to me earlier, the ease of programming and ease of use. Do ask your questions on whatever channel you're watching this on. We've got to say hi to Oscar Francisco, hi to Adam as well from Microplus, hi to Tim from Scotland who's watching. Christoph Badora as well on LinkedIn says hello. If you want to know more about the technology, then of course you can send us a question on wherever you're watching this machine, watching this show. Now, if you thought that a Tornos was possibly out of your reach, Joe's now going to tell us that that might not be the case, as he's now looking at the popular and new DT range from Tornos. So over to you, Joe.
So it's fair to say, Colin had some machine, the multi-Swiss. Obviously, engineers are going to grow into that presumably. To start with, you've got to look at standard machines like the DT range. Tell us a little bit more about the DT range.
Yes, this is the perfect machine to start for sure. We have here a whole range just present here at the EMO. Just start to 13 millimeter diameter, divided in two range. We have the DT 13 and 26 S line. And then we have the HP line, goes to 13, 26, 32, up to 38 millimeter diameter.
So for people, maybe they've got non-sliding head machines, and they're looking for their first, sliding head machines. To start with, why should they look at sliding head against fixed head machines?
You have the possibility to convert it also in the fixed head machine in very simple way, in less than 15 minutes. Otherwise, if you need to machine some long part with complexity and so on, this is the right one, you should take it.
So the machine we're looking at here is the 13 millimeter. Remind me, what's the largest diameter in this range?
You have the 13, and this one you are able to add also on the HP model. Not this one, this is the S, more entry, but after you have the HP, where high performance name, you can add in option a B axis also on this small machine.
And this is guide bush and non-guide bush also?
Right, you can convert the machine in guide bush or non-guide bush, depending on the part you have to machine. And if you should machine long part, you have up to 600 millimeter length with an option for long part to machine.
So you 600 mil on this machine here?
Yeah, right. And we make the extraction of the parts through the counter spindle with a special device.
So if we take a look into the machine, our cameraman's in there himself. Tell us what, tell our viewers, let's pretend it's a new sliding head user. They don't know much about this technology. Talk to us about technology.
Yes, here on this place we have the turning tool, up to 6 tools. You have different configuration you can choose. It's a very modular machine. And then after you have the rotating tool and the horn. And on the HP version of this machine, instead of the horn, you can plug the B axis. And then on this side, you have the counter operation block, who allow you to have up to 4 rotating tools or 5 steady. And here we have the counter spindle, where we'll come pick the part and go here to machine and extract the part just here.
So you've talked about a B axis there. For the people that don't know, that's drilling cross holes, compound angles.
Yeah, you will manage it through the CNC control. Every angle you can just adjust in your program. It's very simple, easy to use, and for complexity, you just bring your part complexity to another level with such kind of device.
So obviously you can use this machine on any materials, anything from brass, aluminium through to Inconels, your more tricky materials. You get long and short chipping materials. How do we prevent birds nesting and the swarf getting wrapped around the tools?
Yes, thanks to the new CNC control from Fanuc, we developed together ACB Plus chip breaker. So it will manage the chip for you. You just put the CNC code inside and it will start and break the chip.
And I understand if you've got legacy machines, machines that never had that technology, you can also do it via a macro.
Yes, for the old style machine before old version we have the macro. It's not the same way, the same performance, but it's already a good solution to avoid the chips.
And again, for engineers that maybe don't have a sliding head machine at this moment in time, when you look at them, they look very complicated, don't they? The back spindle, the counter spindle, or the sub spindle's working, as is the front turret and maybe in the back turret. How difficult is it, or how easy is it to program on the machine? Because to be fair, they look tricky, don't they? They look very complex.
So we use our own program, the TISIS, will give you a really helpful, and in 3 days, someone that know the CNC code for sure, in only 3 days he can manage the machine perfectly.
So that's pretty much it for the technology on this machine, but I just want to finish about Tornos as a business. Clearly they're good machine tools, but there's a lot of good machine tools out there. So how about everything else that you offer? The training, the maintenance, the ongoing support when you buy a machine from Tornos?
We have a complete service around the machine. That means in terms of help in programming, analysis of the parts, help also to have some remote access, the new technology in High 4.0. You have the app on the smartphone, you can manage your machine, just be aware if you have an alarm, and all this one is all around our complete range of machine by Tornos for sure.
That is worth pushing on, isn't it? You know, Industry 4.0, it's not going away, it's here to stay forever. The beauty of these machines, they can run all through the night, you can go home and forget about them. But should there be any downtime, run out of bar, maybe the end of the job, you can have an alert to your mobile phone.
Yes, and we see more and more the people that are connecting a machine to other machines, that to take the part, to clean up and make measurement, and we can already give the right approach with the machine prepared to take the signal and make the compensation, correction and so on all during the night, so your productivity will be the same, you will just increase the time you will produce with our machines.
And the one I want to finish on, certainly what we hear for companies that don't have sliding head technology again, so I'm talking to you new users, people say, I don't get the work, I don't get sliding head work. But there is an argument to suggest, as long as it's within, in this case, the 13 millimeters, but up to 32, 36 millimeters, as long as it's within that diameter, you could be doing it significantly faster potentially on this style of machine against fixed head technology. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, I mean, and we will also help you if you are a new user. Just come, have a look, and we will find the right machine for you.
There we are. So if you're in the market for a sliding head user, or maybe in fact if you're not, you should take a look at Tornos. Back to Paul Jones.
Thank you very much, Joe. Interesting insight there into the DT range. Now, remember, tell us you're watching. We'll give you a shout out during the show. We've got about 5 minutes left of the stream. I'm now joined by my compatriots. I'm going to start with you, Colin. You look like, have you just been outside where it's been raining?
It's flipping hot, mate. And that machine, they've stitched me up because that was in the other industrial estate. I've had to run here 2.5 miles, record-breaking time. Shut up, leave me alone.
Joking aside, it has been wet here, but it's still quite humid, isn't it?
It's flipping hot, mate, that's all. Now move on. What do you want to know?
Okay. I want to know what you've found. You've obviously just talked us through the multi-Swiss, but there's a lot more machines here. But tell us, you've also got a part here, but what's really been your highlight?
It has been learning about the multi-Swiss. Rocco has been an absolute legend. One thing we didn't mention, it is a big machine, but key to what these guys do is footprint. These machines, yeah, they're beats of machines, super powerful, etc., super fast, but really small footprints for what they're producing and what their capabilities are. And this is, here we go, one of the things they're producing, which Rocco...
So tell us what it is, if you haven't done this already during the stream, tell us what it is and where it goes and how long it takes to make.
I've got no idea to put you on the spot, so there you go. It is a bone screw, but what part of the bone do you reckon that goes in?
Leg.
Back.
Joe, you heard us earlier, that goes in the back, but Rocco said about 90% of medical screws are this size, so perfect for that type of machine. Really is. So there you go. And this cycle time's on a slider about 300 seconds, so with my maths, that's 8 minutes. Joking, that's about 5 minutes, but 65 seconds parted off on that machine.
I suppose the beauty is lots of different operations, 8 spindles. Every time it indexes, you get a new part, don't you? Did you look at the control technology and how easy it is to actually program that machine?
I didn't look at the control technology is FANUC-based control, so nice and simple. Anybody who's not run one of these machines, if I can say that correctly, they might be thinking, you know, it's going to be super complex, super difficult. It's not. I mean, you can switch, as Rocco said, from a slider to one of these in a day.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of these machines is that it's like if you program a single spindle, you do that, but then you just program 8 single spindles, put the whole lot together, and then you get your program. Joe, you've had a good look round. In fact, you looked at 2 machines for us. I know what you're going to say is the answer to this actually, because I agree with you. What's your favourite that you've seen? Just
to start, you make that sound awfully simple. I'd love to see you program it, by the way. As easy as it is, I still think you need the training course. No, clearly the multi-spindle. That technology is mind-blowing, but I do think you have to probably grow into a machine like that. You might start off to the side and grow into it. But the machine I looked at, the Swiss Deco 36, to me appeals to everyone. Startup companies, multinational companies, high volume, low volume, high mix, low mix. I think it's a machine for everyone. So look at gun drilling up to 700 mil.
But can you imagine, because there's 3 versions of which that machine you can purchase, whether you've got the gang tools or whether you go for the B-axis or the indexable B-axis. Why would you not go for a machine that's got the whole lot? Because to me, that's where it scores, isn't it? That's where the flexibility is.
Personally, I think you have to go for the B-axis with the turret. It gives you so much flexibility, doesn't it? Not just cross holes, but just 12-station turret. Then you can load those turrets up with multiple tools, driven tools. Yeah, to me, it's true multitasking at its best. You know, I asked him off camera about who buys that type of machine. And to be fair, it's everybody. It is literally startup companies right up to the biggest companies, all names we'd recognise. That's so long answer, but the short answer is the Deco 36 is my favourite
and I'm
machine.
sure you went into a lot of detail, but there is some fantastic reviews on the MTDCNC website, what we've done, not just from Tornos in the UK, but also Tornos in Moutier on that machine. I know they had a brilliant demo there at the last EMO show, which was a couple of years ago. Colin, turning, it's a big thing for you. Yeah, not literally. You enjoy this environment. This is a type of technology that you love getting to grips with, isn't it?
It is just every day you're learning a new thing about the technology. I mean, there was it boring bar? You said it was about 700 mil long on the machine behind us. I mean, on a sliding edge machine, just absolutely amazing. It really is. Every day's something different.
And you still, that's not rain, is it? That's got that. Joe, talk to us about this DT as well. I want to just touch on this because this is where you can think a lot of engineers will be attracted to Tornos, but they might think it's out of their league. But clearly, it's not, is it? You can get into their machines at quite economical price.
Absolutely. When the 2 machines we talked about, they're premium machines. They are machines that do a lot. But again, maybe you've got to grow into these machines. And the DT starts at 13 mil up to 38 mil. Guide bush and non-guide bush. It's a great machine to start with, really. It's got lots of different things, 21 or 22 tools, liquid cooled spindles as well. It's either a sub spindle or basically 2 spindles in one, depending on obviously the kilowatt applied to both spindles. Yeah, it's a great place to start. There's no reason why a startup company or again a multinational shouldn't have that type of technology.
You haven't been outside in the rain, have you?
I don't sweat, Paul. I don't sweat. But it's.
So we've actually been streaming now for over half an hour. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here today at Tornos. We're going to be streaming lots of shows over the rest of this week. So, and if you've got any questions on the technology that we've looked at, or in Tornos, or about Tornos in general, then of course you can ask them on whichever channel you're watching this on. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Big thank you to Tornos here in Italy for accommodating us. And Colin, we're going to go and join you outside in the rain now. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.